Chosen one. There are moments in your life when you feel the walls closing in, when betrayal hits so deep, you wonder if the ground beneath you has turned against you. But hear this truth. Even before your enemies built their trap, God already dug your escape route. The story of the plan that backfired. In 1944, during World War II, the Allies executed Operation Bodyguard, a master deception plan to mislead the Nazis. Fake armies, false maps, phantom signals, all to make the enemy believe the invasion would happen somewhere else. And it worked. The enemy was watching, waiting for an attack that never came. Meanwhile, the true victory was already in motion behind their backs. That's exactly how God works for you, chosen one. When the enemy thinks they've cornered you, he diverts their focus, blinds their pride, and moves your deliverance through secret channels. What they expect to destroy you becomes the very proof that you are unguardable. You felt their betrayal before you saw it. You sensed it, the cold shift in energy, the silent conversations, the fake smiles that didn't reach their eyes. You felt something plotting in the unseen. It wasn't paranoia, it was discernment. Your spirit was warning you, but God did not expose it to break you. He allowed you to see just enough to prepare your heart, not to lose your peace. Because when the betrayal finally revealed itself, you were already protected. The wound they intended to cause was already stitched by divine hands. The hidden reversal. Here's what they never understood. God's timing doesn't react, it preempts. Before their strategy even took shape, heaven had already issued a counter-command. Every lie they whispered behind closed doors was met with a louder truth in the spiritual realm. You didn't lose your position. You didn't lose your power. You were repositioned. The delay you hated was the disguise of protection. The rejection you cried over was the redirection of destiny. Every no from man was a not yet from God. The rise from the wreckage. When Joseph's brothers threw him into the pit, they thought they ended his story. But that pit became a passageway to the palace. You've been there too, misunderstood, misjudged, mishandled. And yet, your spirit never broke. You kept walking through the valley like someone who had already seen the sunrise coming. You see, divine reversals don't come in lightning. They come in quiet shifts. Doors that close only so a better one opens. People who leave only to make space for divine replacement. You are standing in the aftermath of a plot that failed before it began. The divine revelation. What if I told you, chosen one, that some of your greatest heartbreaks were actually your protection orders in disguise? You prayed for clarity, but God gave you distance. You asked for peace, but He gave you solitude. You wanted to be surrounded, but He chose to isolate you, because isolation was preservation. The ones who plotted were never ahead. They were pawns in a story already written. God was not late, He was strategic. You were never their victim, you were God's vessel. Every time they dug a grave for you, heaven wrote a resurrection story instead. You've entered the reversal season. Now everything is shifting. The same people who tried to ruin your name are being forced to watch your elevation. The same energy that tried to block your path is now building your platform. What was meant for evil is now working for your glory. You'll notice it in small signs first. Peace where there was once pressure, favor where there was once resistance, clarity where there was once confusion. That's not a coincidence. That's a reversal. The divine turnaround is here, and you are walking in it boldly. The proof of divine justice. You don't have to seek revenge. You just have to remain aligned. Because God doesn't forget injustice, He restores it with interest. Your enemies will witness your reward, not because you begged for it, but because heaven demanded it. Their gossip became your exposure. Their betrayal became your blessing. Their schemes became your stage. Every move they made against you became the very thing that unveiled your divine identity. The unseen courtroom of heaven. Chosen one, there is a moment when your name is spoken in the unseen, not in gossip, but in judgment. Heaven has courts, and God is the judge. Every false word spoken about you, every manipulation behind your back, every unfair setup, it's all recorded. You thought nobody saw it, but heaven did, and while they celebrated your downfall, the gavel was already falling in your favor. Justice in the spiritual realm doesn't move by emotion, it moves by truth. And the truth is, you stayed faithful. You didn't retaliate. You held your peace. That silence wasn't weakness, it was divine evidence. Because while they were plotting, you were praying. And in that courtroom, prayer always outweighs deception. The reversal begins within you first. Before you see the outer turnaround, God starts with the inner one. The anxiety fades, the bitterness loosens its grip, the pain no longer poisons your thoughts. That's the true sign of reversal, not just when things get better, but when you become unbothered. You start realizing that peace is power. You no longer react to every rumor, every insult, every delay. You've matured past the chaos. That's how God knows you're ready for restoration. Because restoration without maturity would only recreate your old battles. But now you've evolved, and evolution is the highest form of victory. The divine exposure. Soon, the masks start falling. The people who pretended to be for you reveal their true motive. Opportunities they tried to block come looking for you instead. What they built in darkness crumbles in daylight. It's not a coincidence, it's exposure. You'll begin to see divine irony unfold. The very one who lied about you now defending your name, the one who abandoned you now needing your help. That's how God writes his justice, not in revenge, but in revelation. Because exposure isn't punishment, it's purification. God removes what's fake so your purpose can breathe freely. The divine acceleration. Once the reversal begins, it doesn't move slowly, it moves supernaturally fast. Things that took years start aligning in days. Doors you never expected to open swing wide without effort. That's divine acceleration. You've suffered long enough, and heaven knows it. Every delay was stored as credit in your favor. So now, when the blessings pour in, they won't come one by one. They'll come in clusters. Opportunities, connections, and breakthroughs will overlap. People will call it luck. You'll call it restoration. God didn't forget you. He was just preparing the runway for your sudden takeoff. The prophetic pattern. If you look back over your life, you'll notice a pattern. Every betrayal led to elevation, every rejection revealed redirection, every loss introduced new life. It wasn't random, it was training. The chosen ones are always prepared through pain. You didn't just survive the enemy's plan, you outgrew it. Every time they pushed you down, you grew deeper root. Every attack increased your anointing. That's why your next season will look unfairly blessed, because what you went through wasn't equal to what you're about to receive. God multiplies compensation, not balance. The shift in the atmosphere. Even now, chosen one, there's a change around you. You can feel it, the air feels lighter, the heaviness is lifting, and things that once drained you no longer have access to your energy. That's not imagination, that's alignment. You're not being pulled backward anymore. You're being propelled forward by divine force. Every delay has turned into direction. Every disappointment has birthed discernment. The universe recognizes your frequency now. It knows who you are and what you carry. You are no longer hidden. The season of silent suffering has ended. The season of open favor has begun. There will come a day, soon, when you won't even need to explain what happened. Your success will speak for you. Your peace will testify. Your glow will tell the story of a war that heaven won on your behalf. Those who doubted you will quietly watch. Those who envied you will realize they fought the wrong person. And those who tried to curse you will be forced to bless you instead. Because when God reverses a plot, He doesn't just restore what you lost. He multiplies it until even your enemies have to say, "Surely, the Lord was with them." The silence that spoke louder than words. Chosen one, you didn't fight back. You didn't expose them. You didn't chase explanations. Instead, you went silent, and that silence became your greatest sermon. Because silence in the spirit realm is not emptiness, it's power under control. God used your quiet season to confuse your enemies. They thought you were finished, but you were just being fortified. They misread your stillness as surrender, not realizing that heaven was reloading your strength. You see, when you stop talking, God starts moving. And when He moves, He makes statements no words could ever match. The unseen hand that redirected your step. There were moments when you were headed toward destruction. Partnerships that looked promising, opportunities that glittered like gold. You almost said yes to something that would have broken your spirit. But somehow, something pulled you back. A feeling, a delay, a closed door. That was God, the unseen hand of divine intervention. Sometimes He protects you by removing what you think you want. Sometimes He saves you by letting things fall apart. You thought you were being punished, but in reality, you were being redirected toward peace, purpose, and protection. The detour was the destiny all along. The divine reversal in relationship. People once connected to you had to leave, not because they were all evil, but because they couldn't handle your transformation. You outgrew conversations that no longer nourished your spirit. You no longer resonated with drama or smallness. That's divine pruning. And now, God is bringing new souls into your life. People who see your light, not your past. People who don't compete with your growth, but contribute to it. You're entering a circle that celebrates your calling, not questions it. That's the divine upgrade, a relational reversal that mirrors your inner renewal. The season of divine memory. There were times when you thought God had forgotten you. The unanswered prayers, the silent nights, the dreams that seemed to fade. But chosen one, God doesn't forget. He remembers on schedule. And when heaven remembers you, it doesn't bring back what was lost. It replaces it with better. You will see people who overlooked you start reaching out again. You'll find opportunities you thought were gone resurface at a higher level. That's not a coincidence. That's divine remembrance. Because in the heavenly record, nothing you've sown in faith is ever wasted. Your tears were recorded. Your patience was noted. Your name is being called again. The enemy's regret. It always happens the same way. The very ones who betrayed you end up realizing they sabotaged their own blessing. You were their divine connection, but they let jealousy cloud their discernment. They tried to bury you, but now they're watching you bloom in the very soil they cursed. And the hardest part? You'll feel no hate, just clarity, because when you've been touched by divine justice, you no longer crave human revenge. You move differently. Your peace becomes your weapon. Your progress becomes your proof. And your calm becomes their conviction. The purpose of the pain. Every battle you faced was a classroom. Every wound was a lesson. Every delay was a preparation. God didn't allow it to break you. He allowed it to build you. Because the chosen ones can't just preach faith. They must embody it. That's why you had to experience betrayal, loneliness, and confusion to gain empathy and power. You are now the living evidence that pain has purpose, that loss births legacy, and that suffering is just the soil where destiny grows. You were never being punished, you were being positioned, the rise of the chosen. Now you walk differently. There's a new authority in your voice, a quiet fire in your eyes. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer beg, you believe. Because once you've survived the enemy's plan, you start living like someone untouchable. Your presence alone shifts rooms. Your energy intimidates the wicked and comforts the righteous. That's what divine reversal does. It makes you a living prophecy. You don't just carry light, you are light, and that light cannot be dimmed, delayed, or destroyed. The mantle of restoration. God is restoring not just your possessions, but your peace, your name, your influence, and your joy. The same way Job's story ended, yours is turning now. For every tear you cried, there will be double laughter. For every loss, double gain. This isn't payback, it's purpose back. Everything stolen from you is returning sanctified, purified, multiplied. And as it does, you'll understand, it was never about the pain, it was always about the preparation for glory. You were not being broken down, you were being built for reign. The weight of divine evidence. Chosen one, the reason your path was so heavy wasn't because you were cursed, it's because you were carrying evidence. Evidence that God still protects, still provides, still reverses the impossible. That's why your life attracted so much warfare, because proof always provokes resistance. You were never just fighting for survival, you were fighting to become a living testimony. Every tear you shed was a verse being written in your story. Every disappointment was a comma, not a period. And now, your very existence is the evidence that God overturns the plans of darkness, publicly, completely, undeniably. The season of spiritual recompense. There's a principle written in the unseen realm. What you lost in pain, you recover in power. Heaven doesn't allow injustice without compensation. Every sleepless night, every broken promise, every betrayal that shook your faith, they all accumulate spiritual interest. And now, the payout season begins. But it won't come as you expect, not just in money, but in peace that can't be stolen, love that can't be faked, favor that can't be revoked. You will be compensated not just for what you endured, but for how you endured it, with grace, with patience, with unwavering faith. The divine exchange. Every loss you suffered was secretly traded for something higher. The friendship that ended made space for divine alignment. The job you lost cleared the path for your calling. The rejection you felt shattered your pride but revealed your purpose. God doesn't take without giving back. He doesn't subtract, He multiplies differently. What you called the end was really a transfer. He was exchanging what was temporary for what was eternal, what was surface for what was sacred. And now, everything that was taken from you is being returned in divine form, refined, purified, eternal. The power of perspective. If you look back now, you'll realize that the enemy didn't actually stop your blessings. He shaped them. Because every attack revealed what was weak, what was fake, what was temporary. The pain was pruning. The loss was in locating your limit. The betrayal was breaking your blindness. And when God reverses a plot, He doesn't just change the outcome, He changes you. The same things that used to break you now build you. The same pressure that crushed you now crowns you. That's not a coincidence. That's divine maturity. You didn't just survive, you evolved. The revelation of divine authority. When you walk through betrayal and still bless, when you face delay and still trust, when you lose everything and still worship, something shifts. Heaven recognizes you. That's when you move from believer to authority. You start speaking and things happen. You start declaring and energy responds. Because your words are now weighted with obedience, and obedience carries power. The enemy's greatest mistake was teaching you your own strength. By trying to destroy you, he awakened what was divine within you. And now you don't fear warfare, warfare fears you. The rewriting of your name. Chosen one, your name has changed in the spirit. You are no longer identified by what broke you, you are identified by what birthed you. You are not the one who was betrayed, you are the one who was rebuilt. Not the one who was rejected, but the one who was redirected. This is the season when your reputation aligns with your revelation. People will see the glow before they hear the story. And when they ask, "How did you make it?" you'll simply say, "God reversed it before I even knew I needed rescue." The alignment of destiny helpers. You've walked alone for a long time, but that isolation was never permanent. Now, destiny helpers are being sent. People divinely assigned to elevate, support, and protect your calling. They'll come with ideas that feel familiar, opportunities that fit perfectly, and words that confirm what your spirit already knew. These aren't random connections, they're divine appointments, because when God reverses your season, He doesn't just give you blessings, He gives you builders. You will no longer carry this vision alone. The chosen are rising, and they're being drawn to your light. The divine inheritance. This is where everything starts to make sense. The pain had a pattern, the loss had logic, the warfare had a purpose. You were being prepared for inheritance, not just of wealth, but of wisdom, authority, and divine favor. You are stepping into what generations before you prayed for. What others forfeited, you will fulfill. Because God doesn't waste lineage, He redeems it through the chosen. Every curse in your bloodline ends with you. Every blessing begins again through you. You are the reversal, the restoration, the rebirth, the breaking of hidden chains. Chosen one, some battles you faced weren't even yours, they were inherited. Patterns of loss, fear, delay, and rejection passed down through generations like invisible chains. You were fighting what your ancestors couldn't name. But the reason the warfare intensified around you is because you were chosen to end it. God trusted you with the curse so He could crown you with the cure. That's why your pain felt so personal, because you were rewriting history. Every sleepless night, every silent tear, every prayer that felt unanswered, it was dismantling ancient darkness. The reversal didn't just happen for you, it happened through you. The law of divine replacement. Whenever God removes something from your life, He never leaves the space empty. What feels like emptiness is actually expectancy, a divine vacancy waiting for heaven's refill. That's why you shouldn't mourn what walked away. Every departure was a release, not a rejection. You think you lost stability? No, you lost stagnation. You think you lost love? No, you lost illusion. God replaces by revelation, not repetition. So get ready, chosen one. The replacements coming your way are not replicas. They are upgrades, divinely designed to fit your future, not your past. The quiet before the reveal. Right now, some of you are in that silent stretch where nothing seems to move. No doors, no signs, no validation. But don't be deceived. Silence is not absence, it's setup. When an artist finishes painting, they step back, not to leave, but to admire what's done before the unveiling. That's what God is doing. He's stepped back, not out. The masterpiece is ready, and soon the curtain will rise. The people who mocked your stillness will be the same ones who applaud your emergence. Stay still. Revelation is closer than it looked. The restoration of your voice. There was a time you couldn't speak your truth. Fear, judgment, shame, or confusion had stolen your voice. But now, the reversal has reached your spirit. Your voice carries weight again. You no longer speak from pain, you speak from power. You no longer speak to be heard, you speak to heal. What once silenced you now strengthens your sound. And when you open your mouth this time, heaven echoes through it. That's not confidence, that's calling. You were born to speak life where others only saw loss. The exposure of counterfeit blessings. Not every opportunity was divine. Some were distractions wearing the costume of destiny. And you know what's wild? The enemy will always offer a counterfeit right before your breakthrough. A quick fix, a tempting door, an easier route. But you, chosen one, learned to discern by fire. Now, your spirit recognizes what your emotions once misread. You no longer chase what glitters. You wait for what's God ordained. That's why things you once wanted now feel heavy, because they were never meant for your light. The exposure wasn't punishment, it was purification for your promise. The anointing of restoration. Every time you were crushed, something divine leaked out of you. Wisdom, compassion, discernment, power. That's what the anointing truly is. Divine oil pressed through pain. You thought your suffering disqualified you, but it actually certified you. You now carry an authority that can't be faked, because it was paid for with real tears. When you speak, the atmosphere shifts. When you pray, things move. Because the oil you carry was produced under pressure, and pressure creates permanence. That's why you're unstoppable now. You've been pressed, but not broken. Tested, but not taken. The gathering of divine witnesses. In this new season, God doesn't just bless you privately, He reveals you publicly. There are witnesses assigned to see your rise. Not to validate you, but to confirm His glory through you. People who once ignored your potential will now see the fulfillment of what they dismissed. The same mouths that spoke against you will speak of you. And when they do, you won't need to boast. Your peace will preach for you. Because divine reversal always comes with divine evidence. And evidence doesn't argue, it simply exists. The unshakable foundation. After so many storms, you've learned that real faith isn't fragile. You don't crumble when things collapse, you recalibrate. You don't panic when doors close, you prepare. Because you've learned that God never leaves you foundationless. The losses built your roots deeper. The delays made your discernment sharper. The betrayals toughened your boundaries. That's why this time, you won't fall, you'll flourish. The same storms that once terrified you will now testify for you. You've become unshakable because your faith no longer depends on circumstances. It depends on covenant, the unveiling of your divine reward. Chosen one, there's a moment coming when everything will align, suddenly. The pain, the patience, the process, it will all make sense in one breathtaking moment of revelation. The doors you thought were locked will open in sequence. The people you prayed for will return with humility. The calling you doubted will manifest without effort. You'll stand in awe, realizing this truth. God didn't just reverse the plan, He rewrote your ending. You didn't lose time, you were being prepared for divine timing. What's about to unfold will silence every doubt, every critic, every memory of loss. The echo of divine timing. Chosen one, you've spent years wondering why it took so long, why God didn't step in sooner. why things had to fall apart before they fell into place. But divine timing is not delay, it's orchestration. Every pause protected you. Every waiting season positioned you. If God gave it to you earlier, you would have lost it through immaturity or exhaustion. But now, you've been refined by waiting. You've learned to trust even when nothing moves. That's the highest level of faith, not needing proof, only presence. And because of that, heaven has declared, the time is now. The transference of power. What once intimidated you now empowers you. You no longer fear spiritual warfare, you understand it. You no longer question the silence. You've learned to read between divine pauses. God has shifted your position. You're no longer the attacked, you're the anointed. Your prayers carry authority that moves mountains. Your presence disturbs the darkness without a word. This is what the reversal produced. Transformation, not just triumph. And when you speak now, it's not from pain, it's from power. You're not explaining your worth anymore, you're enforcing it. The one who was once targeted is now the threat. The breaking of the wilderness season. You've wandered long enough. The season of confusion, scarcity, and uncertainty is ending. You've learned what the wilderness was designed to teach: dependence, discipline, discernment. Now, the same land that felt barren will begin to bloom. Opportunities will come to the very place you once struggled. People will seek the wisdom you earned in isolation. That's how divine cycles work. Your dry ground becomes your demonstration ground. You are crossing out of survival and into significance. You will no longer just get by, you will begin to govern. The wilderness was never a punishment, it was preparation for dominion. The divine redistribution. Heaven is realigning resources. Things that were stolen are being returned. Positions that were wrongfully taken are being reopened. The favor that was delayed is being rerouted. This is not random, it's divine redistribution. God is balancing what man mishandled. The scales of injustice are being corrected, and you are stepping into what was always yours by right of assignment. People will call it a coincidence. You'll know it's a covenant. The wealth of the wicked is shifting hands, and divine order is being restored. You're not chasing what's owed, it's being delivered to your doorstep. The unveiling of divine identity. All this time, you've been becoming. Through heartbreak, through pressure, through silence, you've been evolving into your true self, the chosen version of you, bold, grounded, radiant. You no longer shrink to fit old spaces. You no longer beg to be understood. You walk with quiet certainty because you finally know who sent you. And that's what terrifies darkness, an awakened child of God. Someone who no longer seeks approval, only alignment. Someone who knows that identity isn't earned, it's revealed. You are the revelation, chosen one, the living mirror of divine victory. The public proof of private faith. You prayed in secret, cried in silence, and forgave without closure. You sowed in obscurity while others mocked your patience. But now, God is rewarding you in full view. Your name will be mentioned in rooms you've never entered. Your work will open doors that your words couldn't. The same people who ignored your faith will witness your favor. Because when God reverses a plot, He doesn't hide it, He showcases it. He wants the world to know that faith still works, that obedience still wins, that surrender still saves. You are about to become the proof of everything you once prayed for. The cleansing of your atmosphere. Notice how people are leaving. Notice how your tolerance for certain conversations has dropped. That's not arrogance, that's ascension. God is cleansing your environment to match your elevation. Every time your vibration rises, everything misaligned must fall away. You're not losing friends, you're losing friction. You're not being isolated, you're being insulated. Because this next level requires peace as your protection and discernment as your compass. Don't chase what's left. Don't mourn what fell off. You're being surrounded by purity, loyalty, and divine frequency. This new atmosphere will breathe life into your purpose. The coronation after the chaos. Before every crown comes chaos. Before every throne, a test. Before every destiny, a divine disruption. You've lived through that, the uncertainty, the rejection, the spiritual exhaustion. But now, the shaking is over. Heaven has confirmed your readiness. You are no longer waiting for recognition. You are stepping into rulership, over your peace, your purpose, your destiny. This is your coronation season. Every tear was oil, every trial was training, and now you wear authority like armor. The same hands that wipe tears will now carry triumph. You've earned this through endurance, the ripple effect of your obedience. You thought your obedience only affected your own life, but, chosen one, it's far bigger. Because you stayed faithful, entire bloodlines are shifting. Because you didn't quit, others are finding the courage to continue. You're not just walking in purpose, you're setting a pattern. Your yes to God echoed through generations. People you'll never meet will benefit from the decisions you made in secret. That's divine legacy, the kind that outlives applause and outlasts time. Your obedience became a prophecy. Your endurance became a blueprint. You are not just chosen, you are chosen to change everything. The dawn after the darkness. The night is ending, chosen one. The spiritual heaviness that once lingered is lifting. You can feel it, the clarity returning, the vision sharpening, the hope reigniting. That's not wishful thinking, that's resurrection. Every ending that broke you was really the burial of your old self, and now, the sun is rising on a brand new identity. You've survived what should have destroyed you, and because of that, you'll never live in fear again. The darkness was deep, but the dawn is divine. And now, everything you touch will carry the light that once guided you through it. The return of divine order. Chosen one, what once felt chaotic is now aligning like clockwork. The delays, the detours, the disappointments, they're revealing their hidden logic. You were never walking in circles. You were walking in cycles, divine ones, meant to mature you before multiplying you. The disorder was never punishment. It was the pruning that made room for divine precision. Every piece that once felt scattered is clicking into place. What was once confusion is now clarity. What was once fear is now faith. The storm wasn't sent to destroy your life. It was sent to rearrange it into divine order. The unveiling of divine partnership. You've walked through the fire alone long enough. God is now sending those who match your frequency, not your familiarity. These won't be opportunists, they'll be ordained. You'll feel the peace instantly when they arrive. Conversations will flow easily, visions will align naturally. You'll know it's divine because it won't require convincing, it'll just click. These people were being prepared while you were healing. You won't have to chase, you'll simply connect. And together, you'll move like pieces of a heavenly puzzle, building what hell once tried to block. Destiny doesn't work in isolation, it operates in alignment. The reversal of shame. You've carried memories that felt like permanent scars, moments of humiliation, failure, and regret. But chosen one, heaven specializes in flipping the narrative. The same places where you were once mocked, you'll now be celebrated. Shame was the enemy's tool to silence you, but God is using it as the stage for your testimony. Because divine reversal always brings exposure, not of your failure, but of your faith. You won't have to explain how you made it. The evidence will speak louder than your excuses. Where you once bowed your head in shame, you'll soon lift it in sacred pride. The authority of divine peace. You used to crave closure. You wanted explanations, apologies, understanding. But peace doesn't come from answers, it comes from alignment. And now, you carry a peace that confuses the very people who caused your pain. They'll look at you and wonder how you're still standing, how you're still kind, how you're still glowing. It's because God didn't just calm your storm, He taught you how to command it. You're not reacting anymore, you're reigning. That's divine peace, not the absence of war, but the presence of authority. You've become the calm that chaos can't disturb. The fulfillment of prophecy. Every promise, every dream, every word you ever held onto, it's time. The prophecies that once felt far away are converging in this season. You'll start to see sudden manifestations, doors opening, calls returning, prayers being answered word for word. You'll realize that nothing was random. The timing, the testing, the tears, all of it led to this divine fulfillment. The prophecy was never delayed, you were being developed to carry it. And when it happens, it won't be subtle. It will be visible, undeniable, and irreversible. Because what God fulfills, no man can undo. The divine exchange of authority. In the spiritual realm, authority is transferred through endurance. Every time you didn't quit, every time you forgave, every time you stayed silent when provoked, you gained authority. That's why things feel different now. Your prayers don't just request, they command. Your words don't just comfort, they carry weight. Heaven trusts your voice because it's been tested by suffering and purified by obedience. You are no longer begging for breakthroughs, you're birthing them. This is divine promotion, where God no longer needs to prove himself to you, because he now works through you. Chosen one, take a deep breath. You've reached the part of your story that heaven wrote long before your enemies plotted. The part where the storm breaks, not you. The part where every night now bows to your dawn. This isn't just an ending. This is the divine completion. Every tear you shed watered something sacred. Every delay hid a divine detail. Every betrayal unlocked a better blessing. You didn't lose time, you redeemed it. You didn't fall behind, you fell into alignment. The enemy thought he had buried you, but God was planting you. The enemy thought he ended you, but God was establishing you. And now, heaven is standing still, watching you rise into what was promised all along. You are no longer the one who survived, you are the one who was chosen to demonstrate that divine reversals are real. That pain has purpose. That brokenness is not the opposite of beauty, it's the birthplace of it. And as you stand here, know this, you are not alone. There's an entire remnant rising. People just like you, chosen, refined, and restored. This space, this channel, this community, it's not just a platform. It's a movement of light. So if this word spoke to your spirit, don't just scroll away. Let your presence be a declaration. Comment your amen, share your testimony, and subscribe, not for the algorithm, but for the assignment. Because every voice that joins and amplifies heaven's message, every click, every share, every word, it sends this light further into a world that desperately needs it. You are the proof that divine reversals exist. You are the echo of God's victory. And your story, it's just beginning. The plot was against you, but the power is within you. God already reversed it, now walk in it. Amen.